you experience one of the following issues when using the A9 auto-emptying charging station, follow these tips to keep the station working at its best. Dust and debris scattered in the docking station. Dustbin not closed properly. If dust and debris is scattered at the charging station docking surface, it may be due to the dustbin not closing properly. The dustbin may not be emptied completely under certain conditions. Very full, contains long hairs, A9 vacuum not seated properly in a charging station, etc. This may prevent the dustbin from closing properly, causing dust and debris to spill out into the charging station. If this happens, clean in and around the docking station so the A9 vacuum can sit correctly when placed. Charging station not emptying the dustbin. Dustbin overfill. The contents of the dustbin should not exceed the max line. Use the compressor lever to compact pet hair and dander as much as possible. For best results in areas with extra hair or pet dander, empty the vacuum dustbin more often during cleaning. If some debris still remains in the dustbin after emptying it manually, use the charging station to empty it. Make sure the dust container lid on the A9 vacuum is properly closed and sealed before mounting it on the auto-emptying charging station. Dust and debris in the dust bag compartment. Dust bag not inserted correctly. If the dust bag is not inserted properly, dust will escape from the top of the bag. If this occurs, remove the dust bag, clean in and around the charging station, and properly reseat the dust bag. If needed, prepare a new dust bag to insert into the dust bag compartment. Insert the top plate of the dust bag on the top of the two green rails inside the station. Make sure that the dust bag is level, with both sides sitting properly on the rails. Slide the dust bag in along the rails of the product until it is completely inserted. Push the dust bag lever up until it clicks into place. Always replace the dust bag with a new one if it appears clogged, and to avoid weak suction performance. Weak suction performance and intermittent power issues. Dirty filters. If you notice weak suction performance and intermittent power issues, you may need to clean the filters on the A9 vacuum and charging station. For optimal performance, clean or replace the filters on both the A9 vacuum body and auto-emptying charging station when necessary. After washing the filters, allow them to thoroughly air dry for at least 24 hours before reinstalling them. Reinstalling the filters before they are completely dry may result in mildew or odor. A9 vacuum and charging station not charging. Make sure the battery is inserted properly before mounting it on the auto-emptying charging station. The battery charge terminals on the vacuum must contact the connectors on the auto-emptying charging station in order for the battery to charge properly. Also, make sure the vacuum is placed correctly in the station. Once properly seated, a chime will sound. Caution: if not properly docked, the vacuum won't charge or empty properly, and the vacuum could fall and be damaged. Improper leveling. For best results, install the auto-emptying charging station on a flat, level surface. This allows the proper insertion of the vacuum into the auto-emptying charging station and allows the nozzle head to bend correctly. If you plan to install the charging station on carpeting rather than hard flooring, use the extended base plate provided with the product. Without the extended base plate, the deep carpet pile may prevent the nozzle head from moving into the correct position to properly place the vacuum in the charging station. Attach the gaskets that came with your product to the 4 grooves on the rear of the base plate. Attaching the gaskets on the base plate can prevent the base plate from slipping or scratching the floor when installing the product. The auto-emptying charging station should sit perfectly on top of the extended base plate. When the A9 vacuum is properly seated, the nozzle should sit correctly and a chime will sound. Here are some things to remember. Be sure to unplug the unit before moving it to another location. Remove the battery from the A9 vacuum body before cleaning its filters to avoid personal injury, product damage, and electric shock. Operating the product with wet filters or without the filters will allow dust to reach the motor and could cause a malfunction. Do not try to remove the vacuum cleaner during a dust disposal operation or when it's paused. Doing so may cause injury or product failure. If power loss occurs during the dust disposal operation while the vacuum is mounted, the vacuum will not move until the power is restored. Wait until the settings on the charging station's control are reset. Although the auto-emptying charging station has an indicator to remind you when to replace the dust bag, the actual need to replace the dust bag will vary depending on your usage and environment. Check the fullness of your dust bag at least every 2 to 3 weeks and replace it as necessary.